Hello everyone and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, Golgari Grave Beings. With Aetherdrift being released, the Grave Beings deck got a new card introduced in Chitin Gravestalker. Not really a great card or anything, but it's a 6 mana, 5/4 that costs 1 less for each artifact and or creature in our graveyard. So the old Grave Being deck is just to toss a bunch of cards into our graveyard and try to cast them fast with Hollow Marauder making our opponent discard, and with Huskburster Swarm just being a 6/6 menacing death touch creature that will already be able to push damage on board. Then combo that with Up the Beanstalk means that every time we play a creature, we get to draw a card. And combo that also with Souls of the Lost, where when we're dumping so many cards into our graveyard, the Souls of the Lost are actually gigantic creatures. Now, this Chitin Gravestalker can help fuel that because it's also cycle. So if you have nothing else, you can just cycle it for a card and put more creature cards into your graveyard. This deck also synergizes very well with Overlord of the Balemurk. When it comes into play, we mill 4 cards and we return a non-avatar creature from graveyard to our hand. We may. You don't have to. You may. And also this deck combos very well with another card that I think a lot of people are forgetting about. Ayara, Widow of the Realm. This is a 3 mana, 3/3 creature that doesn't seem that great. But when you look at her ability, tap, sacrifice another creature or artifact. Ayara deals X damage to target opponent or battle and gain X life, where X is the sacrifice permanent's mana value. Well, this is an 8 mana value card. This is a 7 mana value card. When you sack them, you deal 8 damage and you gain 8 life. That's a big swing against any sort of aggressive deck. So that is also a big reason why I wanted to try out this deck. I've seen a lot of players play this deck, but I have never seen one with Ayara, and I want to try it out. The Widow of the Realm. Let's see how much of a Widowmaker we can make our opponents. How does that work? I'm not sure if that made any sense, but I really love this card and I want to see it work. Now, the early game, we got a lot of 1-drops that also fuel that strategy. We got 4 Gnawing Vermins that mills us for 2, 4 Cenote Scouts that it says explore, but basically it mills us for 1. And then we got a Molt Tender that can continuously mill ourselves. And then if we have lands or sorceries in the graveyard that we don't need, or instants, we can exile that to get a 1 mana of any color. So it's kind of like a Birds of Paradise that can help fuel us in the early game as well. So insane 1-drop combo that helps this deck. And then on turn 2, obviously what we want is one of the 4 Up the Beanstalk. I also have Souls of the Lost. A lot of people like putting 4 Souls of the Lost in this deck. I do think that's not a bad idea. Souls of the Lost can get us a lot of games because it's a big beast stick. But what I feel like is against some decks that just put up chump blockers, Souls of the Lost may not be as good as Ayara. That's why I have an Ayara instead of 4 Souls in this deck, because then we can sack our permanents, as I've mentioned earlier. So the permanents we want to sack, we'll talk about later. Turn 2, we also have 4 Overlord of the Balemurk to get more cards into our graveyard. And potentially, if we mill an Ayara, don't worry about it. Normally, when you only have 1 off in your deck and you mill it, you kind of get sad that you don't get to use that strategy. Not for this deck. For this deck, we just Overlord back. It's fine, right? Overlord dumps a bunch of things in the graveyard, and we always want to get Ayara back if she is in the graveyard, because she's so useful in this deck. We also have 2 Harvester of Misery. Harvester of Misery is sort of a removal, right? 2 mana, discard, discard. Target creature gets -2/-2. But we can also play it as a 5-drop. We can play it as a 5-drop and just have all creatures get -2/-2. Hurts a very big board. That's great. And we have 4 Overwhelming Remorse. A 5 mana instant that exiles target creature or planeswalker may not look that good, but it costs 1 less for each creature card in our graveyard. And since we're dumping so many creature cards in the graveyard, this becomes a 1 mana exile target creature or planeswalker. So it's kind of like Bitter Triumph, except it costs 1 and we don't lose life. And also it exiles instead of destroy. All upsides, no downsides. This card is insane in the right style of decks. And then, of course, the cards that we actually want to bring back, or we actually not bring back, we actually want to cast for small mana value and combo with Up the Beanstalk. We got 2 Chitin Gravestalker, as I talked about, from new Aetherdrift, but we have 4 Hollow Marauder and 4 Huskburster Swarm. These 2 cards are our main heavy hitter. The Huskburster is a 6 mana menacing, 6/6 menacing death toucher, which is very difficult for normal decks to deal with, and it can also fling for 8 damage and gain 8 life. Hollow Marauder is even better because it might just be a 4/2 flyer, but it makes our opponent discard a card, and if they don't discard a card with mana value 4 or greater, we get to draw a card. So Hollow Marauder definitely just take all values out of our opponent's hand, and we can get a lot of Marauders out by Up the Beanstalking and drawing a bunch of them, chaining them together, or we can get them back with Overlord the Balemurk. So we can keep making our opponent discard, and pretty soon they're going to be sad about what's remaining in their hand, while we have a huge hand and a huge board. Now, this deck is very aggressive, so we only run 20 lands because the combo gets out lands very quickly. The Cenote Scout, the Molt Tender gets us the lands that we need, and really you just need about 2 to 3 lands for this whole deck to work. So we got 3 swamps. Most of our cards that we want to cast are just 1 black pip. We have 1 forest, and in our dual color lands we got 4 Blooming Marsh, 4 Llanowar Wastes, 4 Underground Mortuary, and 4 Wastewood Verge to top it all off. So that's the whole idea of this Golgari Gravebeing deck. It seems very strong, and I added Ayara because I think she could be a showstopper. She could be a game changer, and I want to see whether or not that's true. So let's see how it works in the games. Alright, our opponent is the Serotonin Buyer. I'm sorry, I'm not selling those. I'm hoarding all that I can. And our opponent's an Initiate. Of course, Initiates go first. We got lots of waste. Alright, well, we don't have a beans, but we'll see what we can do with it. Alright, immediately discard a card. I guess I can discard a land. I have 3 lands. Do we mill ourselves, or do we start scouting? I played the green man, I might as well scout. Okay, don't want another scout, that can go. 1 creature into the graveyard. I need to have like 10 more. Momentum breaker? No, my momentum is broken. It hurts. Alright, let's get the Overlord out. Get the Overlord ticking. Souls of the Lost, you say? I'll take that. That'll be a pretty good creature to play. Assuming he doesn't just make me discard it. But if he does make me discard, I'd be more than happy to discard it. Frickin' Esper. Alright, we get a free green, that's good. So we got 3 mana for something. Do we Souls of the Lost first, or... Man, this card costs so much still. So... I guess we'll go with a Vermin first. I might want a Molt Tender this turn, though. Let's go Vermin. I will mill 2 cards. Those are cards being milled. Then I Molt Tender. Hold up an Overwhelming Remorse. I doubt he's gonna just fling out Kaito, but you know, you never know what's gonna happen, right? If he makes me discard, Souls of the Lost is getting discarded. Nowhere to run. Cool. I'm gonna kill one of my creatures. They're not doing anything here. Good job. Good work. Yeah, hardcast a Kaito, please. Oh my god. I mean, I can't target it, but it's kind of funny that he did it.
Time to save the day.
Oh, I guess you're gonna be the one with an overwhelming amount of remorse.
Try to keep up.
Let's go to my turn. Can't target it. On my turn, I can target it. And I will. Get that out of here.
I'm definitely lost.
Alright, do we play another Overlord? That's good to kind of get this impending going, right? The Huskburster... I can't play it all in one turn, so no reason to kind of threaten it. They're just going to make me discard it. So, they're just bounce it and then make me discard it. Let's mill 4, and then we'll return a card. What do we return here? I don't want a Cenote Scout. I want the Marauder. Take 1! Haha! I have speed now. Not really, but still. Man, that hardcast Kaito makes me happy. It's so dumb. Such a dumb play. Alright. I mean, dumb because it happened, not dumb because I wouldn't do that, because I would probably do that as well. Let's go with Vermin. Vermin attack. You got instant speed creature there? No. Alright, well, let's go with the Mortuary. Is it beans? It's not beans. I need a beans. I need a beans pretty badly. I can sacrifice a permanent to get the Souls of the Lost out. Maybe he counters it. We'll sacrifice our Vermin. Doesn't do much, right? Do I want to sacrifice a Vermin? He's holding up a bunch of cards. The question is, does he have counterspell, right, for the Marauder? I guess if he does, I can cast this for 1. Huh? What are you gonna do? Oh, you're gonna let it happen? Discard a card. How does it feel for you to start discarding? Alright, discards of this town. That's gutsy. Do I want to sack this Vermin to the soul? Because he just bounced the soul, right? I don't really want that to happen. So, here, you bounce this. And this soul is just basically a discard target. Oh, you're gonna try to kill my Hollow Marauder? Probably has a this town in his hand. Huh? There's a discount in his hand. Bounces 2 discards. That's not quite there, right? He can't make me discard. Well, he can't bounce the Hulkbuster and then make me discard it. Yep. GG, stupid bounce deck. This is what happens. I'm sorry, man. I'm not selling you any of my serotonins. I'm keeping them all. Alright, our opponent is Apolmatox. That's definitely a name. 3 Molt Tenders. That's hilarious. Let's go. We're gonna molt. We're gonna molt the head out of the deck. And Overlord to kind of toss things in the graveyard for a Molt Tender is fun. Never mind, it's gonna get burned. Shocking. Well, if you're gonna burn it like that, I got news for you. I molt some more. I never stopped the molting. Shuffler's fine. Shuffler's fine. Oh, then Ayara is going to be insane against... Oh, no, hey, so they're just going to lightning bolt it? But otherwise, Ayara would be insane, right? That's at least my idea. So let's mill 4 cards. Perhaps we'll discard our land. We have 2 mana. Do I want a Gnawing Vermin? So I want to play Souls of the Lost, right? So I do want to play Souls of the Lost. Do I discard my land? That's a pretty big creature. I mean, I guess I discard a Vermin. I'll exile the land. Good luck getting through this. So it's a 4/5. That could be a 5/6. Potentially. I mean, he could probably get through it, but it will cost him his Manifold Mouse. Maybe. Can he pump it all the way out there? I mean, he could probably do it. Let's see those pumps. No pumps? Alright, he's got him running scared. Screaming Nemesis. Ah, that's bad. That's not an Overwhelming Remorse. This isn't up to Beanstalk. This is a dead card. I could play Ayara, but then I'm kind of out of stuff to do. Still gotta do it, right? Let's play the Ayara. Auto pay. Exile a land. And then the other one will exile another land. All I have is creatures left. So I gotta make sure that... Oh, this is a number of cards? Number of permanent cards. So exiling lands also hurt. I thought it was a number of creatures. Well, you learn something every day. Ayara is good against their deck. The only problem is that they have a Screaming Nemesis. Challenger. It's gonna make it a double striker. Alright, I guess he's gonna have to bring it on. I think he wants to burst lightning it, but I guess he can pump the Emerald Challenger. We're gonna have to hope for the best here. If he wants burst lightning his Screaming Nemesis, he's collecting all the cards. Just click, 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 click. Alright, I guess we'll trade that way. I guess we won't trade that way because it's first strike. An Overlord. Overlord is okay, I think. Definitely don't want to sack the Overlord, so I think what we want to do is tap this, and we will Balemurk 4 cards. We draw a card and then we put 4 cards in the graveyard, right? Unfortunately, the card we drew is a land. And now we can get something that is low cost. Like the Huskburster Swarm. How many creatures do I have in the graveyard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6 after this, so this will cost 2. I think that's pretty good. Unfortunately, they're not very good, right? So I could also play the Harvester of Misery. Can I? I could play the Misery. Tap. I gotta play this land here. Alright, let's get all creature minus. Exile a Beanstalk. And I also exile Overwhelming Remorse. Still all creatures in the graveyard. So here's a Harvester. I get another land. Oh, great. Fantastic. I needed them lands, I guess. Do I attack for 1? No. Yeah, I can swing the Harvester at him for 5. Right? Unless he try to burn his own Nemesis. Guess we'll take the 3. That's all he's gonna do. Questing Druid? That doesn't do anything. He gets his land. Good for him. Is Manifold Mouse time? It's Manifold Mouse time. Oh, a Marauder. Well, that's a card draw. It's actually 2 card draws. So I guess the Harvester probably wants to attack for it. It's not like he can stop it, so Marauder. I draw 2 cards. They're 2 lands. Yeah, you discard a card. Man, if I can get the Overlord working, that'll be great. I can't get the Overlord working. And I have a Scout. Up them Beanstalk. Well, that's gonna be very impactful once I play it, right? So I just gotta get to that turn. This is 5, right? This is 7. Let's cancel. We'll go to the blocks first. So we gotta block the Manifold Mouse. And let's wait till he pumps everything into the mouse. Swifty. Swifty. It's gotta get Swifty. Double striking mouse. Alright, time to block. I mean, I want him to pump the mouse, right? But no. Like this. He definitely has a burn spell or something. Monster's Rage? Is that all he does? Past the first strike damage. Oh, it doesn't seem like he has much of anything. So the first strike damage is going to kill this, and then he'll kill this, right? So go to the first strike damage. It is trample. Let me sack this. Oh, look, I gained the life back. Ha! Now what? Yeah? You want Lightning Strike the Ayara? You kind of have to do it right here. Higher Claw. That won't do it. This might. You got a double block now. Can I kill his Higher Claw, though? Or this. It's just 8 life, right? Hey, that's fun. Ayara, do your thing. Check it out. Check it out, burn deck. Here's how actual burners work. Get the F out of here, you. Ah, Ayara, you're the best. Alright, our opponent is Spiff. There's a lot of initiates. I don't remember what this achievement is for, but there's a lot of them. Okay, do we scout into Beanstalk? Or do we... Yeah, I think we scout into... No, well, we don't get a land, right? So we don't actually have a turn 2 play if we play scout turn 1. Well, let's see what our opponent's doing. They're going first. They always go first. Don't even discard? No, they're red. Firebrand. Okay, monkey time. If they're monkey, I probably want to have a blocker. Molt Tender can go. They're goblins, right? What are the goblins are gonna have? It's gonna be a while before we can get anything going. Unfortunately, we don't have our second land. Well, we have 2 lands, but we don't have a second untapped land. Draconautics Engineer. They chose not to attack. We chose not to draw a land. So we drop a Varmin. Let's see what's going on here. So what are we doing next turn? Beanstalk? Burn off Astronaut? Is he gonna pump the Draconautics, I guess? Exhaust? Alright, can't block it, so here you go. Very good for our opponent. We do draw our 3rd land finally. Is that good enough though? What do we do here? Do we Overlord? Hope to get a 1-drop? Or do we up the Beanstalk? Up the Beanstalk probably is too slow, right? Against this deck, I don't know if we need up the Beanstalk as much as Souls of the Lost. If we Souls of the Lost and discard a creature, I don't think it'll get us there. Overlord, on the other hand, might. How big is Souls of the Lost? 2-3? I discard a creature, it will be a 3-4. It's really not doing much, huh? This will make our Souls of the Lost a little bigger. And if I can mill 2 creatures... I do mill 2 creatures, right? I can make my Remorse cost 1. I can also return a Gnawing Vermin. That mills even more. Alright. No attacks. Let's see if they're fast enough for us. They have 2 cards left, 3 cards left. Hopefully one of them's a land. I don't know. We got 1 removal only. And we have Souls of the Lost. That will be a very big creature if we play it. I guess we're definitely going to have to sack. I don't know. Maybe discarding the Huskburster is the right play since we're not going to be able to cast it anytime soon. Goblins! Oh no, I can't counter his goblins no more. What a travesty. Please just all-out attack me. Huh. That's a weird attack. You can buff it. Buff it again? That will kill my board. He didn't kill my board, he just killed a 2/2. At the cost of his Astronaut? I'm not sure if that was a good idea. I guess he can fling the Firebrand to kill the Gnawing Vermin. That's also not a good idea. But I will appreciate it if he does it. Wow, okay. Anyways, -1 didn't matter there. He's like, oh no, he can kill my creatures? That's not fair. Alright, a Searing Goblin. I guess that was his play all along. So 1-2. Or 2-1. Yeah, I guess we can let it live for one more turn. I might be able to draw a land here anyways. And if I draw a land, I will be able to play the Remorse. Right? I'm gonna go with yes. That was not the land I was looking for. Alright, I draw another... Oh, another Remorse. Okay. You discard a card. I draw another land. That's another up the Beanstalk. So he's gonna have to attack to trigger the Seer Slicer. And I have 2 Overwhelming Remorse coming up next turn, which would draw me a buttload of cards. So I think I'm okay. Just a Slicer attack? He has another Slicer? Is that the deal? I mean, I'll trade you. That's a trade I'll take any day. Not even gonna get speed going that way. Maybe make it a dragon. Guess the dragon does fly. Alright, let's go up the Beanstalk and draw 3 cards. No, only 2 cards. Only 2 cards. Oh, look at that. I can technically draw 4 cards. Are there any good lands I can play? No, there isn't. Well, then let's do this again. There's a land I can play. Do I have a basic land? I don't have a basic land. So this is only going to be on green. That's kind of sad. Only on green, huh? Well, still got to do it, right? Then we scout. Put more presence on the board. I don't know what they can do. I guess they can Crankle. Crankle doesn't have haste. Ayara. Ayara. Oh boy. Are they about to get it? They're going to get a dragon? Yeah, you do that. Swing for that 4/4, is it? 4/4 damage? That's something. Definitely not nothing, but we can block everything else. And if they have another Draconautics, we definitely can get rid of it. So the dragon's coming at us. We're down to 11. They started their engine. There's Crankle. Crankle no haste. Haste no jutsu gone, maybe? Yeah, we gotta get rid of it before anything. This is definitely happening this turn. I'm gonna draw so many cards. None of it matters right now. So, go into combat. We hold back a blocker. This is 12 damage. No point holding back a blocker here. They don't block because they don't know what's happening. They see Ayara, right? You can see it right there. It's right there. Good luck with your place. Because that sack is 8 damage on the Huskburster. You have a 4/4 flying, I'm going to give you that, but that's about all you have. And unless you can trigger... Nope, cannot trigger your haste thing. Or the... start your engines. GG! No more goblins. Alright, our opponent is... Gloomy, the Brilliant! How brilliant are they if they're gloomy? Alright, well, they're very brilliant. They get to go first. We got beings we gotta keep, right? Can't activate beings here with this hand, but let's hope for the best. You definitely keep a hand with beings. Alright, we got Marsh into a Scout. Whatever it is, we're gonna toss unless it's a land. It's not a land, we're gonna toss. 2 mana, nothing. We're gonna fight a... It's gonna be a losing battle, huh? I do want to Beings, but he can counter the Beings. I also want Overlord, but he can counter the Overlord. I can play Souls of the Lost, but it's not really that threatening. I'm gonna discard a card. You can counter this, but it's not really a threat yet. We're also going to get hit by a temporary lockdown, so none of these matters too much. There it is! Temporary lockdown. Alright, that was part of the plan. Overwhelming Remorse. Do I want to draw that card? Do they have Planeswalkers in their deck that I care about? Let's draw it first. They may not have Planeswalkers in their deck that I care about, huh? This is kind of weird, but I guess Overlord helps me mill and I can Beanstalk afterwards. That might be better. If they countered Overlord, I still draw a card. Whereas if I Beanstalk, they countered that, I don't draw a card, and then I get screwed. So maybe this card draw will matter. I doubt it will. Now it didn't matter there. But we mill 4 cards and we get to bring 1 back. Wow. Just bring back the Molt Tender. Just so that we can play it. He's gonna crack his Fountain Port. Well, not crack, but he's gonna activate his Fountain Port. Okay. Against this deck, I'm not sure. We might just get Sunfall and stuff. Do we care about this Molt Tender's mana? I think we might, right? You know what? I'll block. You want to Sunfall me? 1 more card in the graveyard. So, do we Beanstalk or do we Swarm? Swarm draws me a card. He's got 5 mana, so he probably wants to play the 3 steps ahead, right? So let's just Swarm. He can't play the 3 steps. Well, he could play the 3 steps ahead on Swarm, but I don't know if he wants to do that. Probably still does it. He didn't play the 3 steps ahead. I could now play another Swarm. Or I can hold up a Harvester of Misery. If he activates it, maybe I discard the Harvester. I can also play a Beanstalk and make him counter it. It's not a very good counter, right? Because I already have a Beanstalk out, and I'm going to get a lot of value from that. I'm going to get a Treasure, which is interesting. They're going to farewell us? Do they... What's going on with this deck? I don't know. Do they have like a... something I'm not seeing? Like a Wandering Emperor or something? Hornlock Whale. Alright. Do I want that on top? Yeah, I want that on top. This is interesting, right? Because now I could Overlord of the Balemurk, and then also play the Hollow Marauder. It's a lot of cards. I draw 2 cards. And then mill 4. So now it costs 1. I could return 1 of these to make it cost 2. Is that worth? I think it's worth it. This will continuously give me value. So this costs 2 right now, but I can make it cost 1 if I mortuary a creature into the graveyard. There's a Vermin. This costs 1. Discard a card. Ayara's out. Alright, well, Ayara's not long for the world here. It's probably just gonna get removed. And I can play another Buster. I have 3 Busters. Think he's gonna Sunfall us? Make him have it. I'm gonna deck out. Gotta discard 3 cards. So 1, 2. Probably a Harvester. I don't need 2 Harvesters in the deck. In the hand, I guess? Do I need that many lands? Don't know if I need that many lands either. Gotta make him have it. How many board wipes do you think he'll have? There's one. Well, I guess we do this again. He knows I have this. I don't get the flying dude. That's the one I needed the most. Unfortunately, I'm not getting it. So we're gonna have to let this go. I can play a Molt Tender. It's gonna get discarded anyways. Gotta discard a card. We still have 2 Overwhelming Remorse if he Jace. So if he Jaces, we just die. So that's the beauty of our opponent being a mill deck. Second Sunfall. That's very cool of them. Alright, let's Harvester. Our Molt Tender. Yes. So that his thing is a 2/2. Finally, we get a Marauder. You draw 2 cards, you discard a card. Did they just have multiple Sunfalls? He's got 1 card. I mean, I don't have that many cards left. I don't know if I can. Can I push? Overlord mills 4. This is really risky, right? Because I mill 4 and I just die. He probably has another Sunfall. Let's see if I can get 2 Marauders. I can get 2 Overwhelming Remorse, but not 2 Marauders. I'm gonna start keeping cards on the top of my deck. I drew all 4 Remorse. Time to discard the Overlord. That's too much. I mean, I'm not gonna play the land, right? I'm not gonna play the Overlord either, because I'm gonna die that way. Definitely getting Sunfalled every turn. Day of Judgment still. Okay. Gnawing Vermin was the top deck. I knew that. Do I Harvester? No, the Harvester Misery for those, so. If I Overlord, I have 2 mana. I draw 2 and I mill 4. This is getting really risky. I mean, if I'm gonna have all the Marauder at the bottom of the deck, that definitely isn't gonna help. Return a Marauder, play a Marauder. I draw 2 cards, going down to 9 here. I do get a Marauder. Okay, so I can make him discard all of his hand. Discard the last card in your hand. And discard 1 more card. I'm going down to like 5 cards. That's not great. Discard 1 more card. And I could play a land and play this, right? Going down to 1 card. Discard your last card. It's Jace. Now I gotta discard. Okay. 2, 3. How many cards did I discard? 6, 4, 5, 6. There we go. What did you top deck then? Wow. Okay. Well, I guess it didn't matter. Who needs good cards when you can top deck Day of Judgment? Alright, our opponent is Semex. Semex goes first. Molt Tender in the Beanstalk, I like that. Don't like anything else going on here, but we'll see what happens. Heartfire here, okay, never mind, I don't like any part of this. But the Gnawing Vermins might be able to get us there. Mill ourselves for 2. We milled a Beanstalk and a Souls. Interesting. 2 Thornspire Verges, good for our opponent. Is it the Manifold Mouse time? Regular attack. What's the pump? Monster's Rage? Alright, raging. I don't think it would matter either way. So now it's a 3/3 trampler. What do we do against that? We'll Overlord it. And we will return our souls. Kind of the bare minimum of this deck working. But the opponent did go first, so they're gonna get a big attack on us. Here comes the Manifold Mouse and another Monstrous Rage. Huge damage. It's just as huge, I guess. Actually, this is another Verge, so I can only I could play a Molt Tender, right? So I don't think it matters too much. Here's discard a card. Discard 1 Molt Tender. We get a 7/8 Souls of the Lost. We get another Molt Tender. And we'll try to survive. I'm just getting shocked. What do they have here? Burst Lightning. Cool. Wow, okay, no attacks? You sure? I can Beanstalk into a card draw. I don't think I want a Souls of the Lost here, right? It's good, but it's just another big creature on board anyways. Overwhelming Remorse. Now that's... Shouldn't play that land. That kind of solidifies what I had to do here. You can't stop that. Torch is fine, it doesn't hurt. Bring it on, bitch. Just don't Manifold Mouse me. Okay? Are these gonna hold back? Wow, okay. Exile your Heartfire Hero. We draw the Marauder, alright. Marauder's real good, making no cards. You still got the Rockface Village, that's 4 Verges. No, that turns on all the Verges, cool. Discard a card. That was a land. Let's play this land to turn on all the Verges, to take that away. We can now play the Stalker. With a 5/4. We draw 1 card. Then we can play another Soul. Actually, you know what? Is it Control Z or is it just Z? Let's go for the attack first. I don't think he's gonna block. Yeah, he didn't block, which means this now becomes real big. Auto pay. Discard. I don't need to discard a Verge. I can discard a Forest. Haha, we got him. Take that, red. Should learn to attack. You know, when you have creatures that are red, you should probably turn them sideways. Alright, our opponent is F-Taba. F-Taba? Letting us go first with a Beanstalk. You're gonna regret that. We'll say hi. Let's start with a Gnawing Vermin. It's gonna be gnawing at us. One creature, not two, unfortunately, but it's a start. Red, please don't torch me. Novice Inspector. Alright. I think we'll catch him with a block. I doubt we will, but what am I gonna do? Block his creature so when he attacks? Yeah. I guess I have to block his creature when he attacks. Let's go up the Beanstalk. Molt Tender. Molt Tender is a creature we can play. But then that's about it. That's about all I can do. I don't think there's any way for me to put more creatures in the graveyard. Alright, he's gonna Warden. Another Novice Inspector. He's gonna pump his Warden and kind of go over the top on us. Good for them. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, yes. One to the bottom. Ah, we got him. Sucker. One less creature for us to have to deal with. I guess we'll play this land, because we're not gonna Overwhelming Remorse the Warden, are we? He's got 2 mana. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna Remorse the Warden here. This might be a creature, which means that we can Remorse the Warden anyways. Not that I'm gonna. I think I play out the Molt Tender. When they pump everything into the Warden, then we kill it for 1 mana. That's where it matters. Right now, we just gotta... Well, there's 2 Wardens, so I don't think it'll matter. We got a Beanstalk that should fuel us if we can get more cards in the graveyard. They're gonna case our Molt Tender? Please case our Molt Tender. Oh, they cased the Molt Tender. Cool. Now they're gonna attack, or are they going to tap a bunch of things into the Warden? Well, I guess they can still attack, right? To the bottom. Got 2 creatures attacking, doesn't matter. We'll Remorse that Warden. Get that out of here. We draw a card, and then it goes away. The card we drew as land. And I draw a non-land card. I did draw a non-land. Okay. Sure. You freaking coward. Why'd you leave, huh? I didn't even get to play anything yet. Literally nothing scary has come out. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you've seen all of those gravy games, how does this deck feel? I gotta say, I cut a few games out there because I lost embarrassingly because I was playing this deck wrong. A lot of this deck really is about accounting. It's about keeping track of how many cards left in your deck, because I decked out very often. It's about looking at whether or not you have enough damage on board. When should you fling with Ayara? When do you bring back Ayara so that she doesn't get exiled by a Sunfall? And things like that. It's a little bit tricky, but overall, I won most of the games I played today because this deck is insanely good. And it catches a lot of people off guard because people are still not playing Graveyard Hate. That's insane. And in the current meta, just put Graveyard Hate in your deck. Trust me, you need it. Have something against Mono Red, have something against Graveyard Hate, you will win about 75% of the matchups out there. Every deck that I've seen is either a Mono Red sort of aggro deck or some sort of Graveyard Synergy deck. And if you can stop both of those, your deck will be fine. This deck, however, Ayara. What a card. What a lady, right? As you saw in every game she came out, she was the showstopper. She got us the win. Every time we fling an 8 damage, we just win right there. This is 1 mana for a 6/6. We attack for 6 and then we fling for 8. There's no words to describe how insane that is, even in standard, even in current standard. But we can do that with this shell of the deck only because we have all these things to dump cards into, or all these things to dump cards into our graveyard, and then Ayara to combo off. And this deck doesn't just rely on Ayara. A lot of the games we didn't have her, we still won. It doesn't rely on her. She's an extra juice, right? She makes the deck better, but we don't need her to win. We can just kind of win this way as well. And we never got to flip Ayara. That's fine. You definitely don't need it, because when transformed, she just says at the beginning of a combat on your turn, return an artifact or creature from a graveyard, gains haste, and exile it. We have a lot of creatures and artifacts in the graveyard that we can return and give it haste and deal damage, but honestly, who needs it, right? We can just kind of go in. Now, I do think it's a little bit tricky to play this deck if you're not familiar with it, so it might take you 1 or 2 games to learn what the strategy is. But once you learn, the deck is very, very well tuned, very fine tuned, I guess, very well oiled machine. That's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.